Hello everyone, if you've been following this channel for a while, you know I usually post mixes in here. However, today I decided to try something a little bit different. I decided to start a brand new series on professional DJ gear. The reason why I decided to do this series is pretty personal. When I had my first live shows on professional gear, there were so many things I wish I had known and someone had explained to me before going on stage. So this is what I'm going to do in this series for you. We're going to start off with the DJM-A9 mixer, and later on in the series we're going to cover also the Alpha Theta CDJ3000X controllers. So if this sounds something you're into, hit that subscribe button in order not to miss the next episodes on the CDJ3000X controllers. We're going to start with the mixer DJM-A9, and more specifically today we're going to deep dive into the sound color effects. I'm going to showcase one of my songs and I'm going to play all the effects so that you see and you hear how they sound on the song specifically. My name is Elania, I am a DJ and music producer, and in this series we're going to cover everything you need to know about the DJM-A9 mixer and the Alpha Theta CDJ3000X controllers. Basically everything you need to know about professional gear. So let's get into it. So before we jump into the effects themselves, let me quickly walk you through the layout of this section so that you know exactly what you're looking at. You've got 6 sound color effects buttons. They are space, dub echo, sweep, noise, crush and filter. Whichever one you press will start blinking, that's your active effect. Press it again to turn it off. One important thing to know is that only one effect can be active at a time, and if you press a different one, it switches immediately. Something important to understand: when you activate a sound color effect, it's available across all 4 channels simultaneously. But the color knob on each individual channel is what controls the intensity and character of the effect on that specific channel. So you can have the effect dialed in completely differently on each channel at the same time, which gives you a lot of creative control. Then there's the parameter knob, also per channel. This adjusts a secondary characteristic of the effect. It's not the same for every effect. You can control things like feedback level, resonance or noise volume, depending on which effect is active. Think of it as the personality knob for each effect, basically. And finally, the center lock switch, my favorite feature on this mixer. When you flip this on, the color knob has the locking point right in the center. So if you're sweeping the knob hard and fast, it holds at the center, meaning that the effect is bypassed at that neutral position. Release and you can keep turning freely. This is incredibly useful when you want to do dramatic sweeps and land clearly back at the neutral without overshooting. With center lock off, the knob moves freely with no center snap. The same behavior as the older DJM-A9 Nexus 2, for example. Okay, let's go through every effect one by one. First up, space, my personal favorite. This effect adds reverb. It makes the music feel like it's playing in a large open room or a hall. Turning the color knob left, the reverb is applied at low frequency. This is great for creating a sense of space without making things too bright. Now turning right, high frequencies, so the sound is airier, more ethereal. It's really beautiful for build-ups and floaty breakdowns. Now let me try it fast. You can use it as a dramatic sweep, almost like the sound is being swallowed by a room and thrown back out. The parameter knob here controls feedback, so how long the reverb tail lasts and how much it repeats. Low feedback, tight, subtle. High feedback, it washes out into a long, dreamy tail. Careful with this cranked up though, it can get very messy very fast. So be careful when using it. Next, dub echo, a classic. It takes your sound and outputs it slightly delayed. Repeating multiple times and getting quieter each time is that iconic echo effect you hear in dub and reggae music. Turning left on the color knob applies the echo to the mid frequencies. Turning right shifts it to high frequencies, brighter, crispier. Fast right sweeps gives you that whip-like effect, where the echo cuts sharply through the mix. The parameter knob controls feedback, so how many times basically the echo repeats. Low feedback, 1 or 2 subtle repeats. High feedback, the echo multiplies on itself and builds into a wall of sound. A great trick is to turn up the feedback and then cut the fader so that the echo tail keeps going over silence. This can be a really powerful moment in set, especially for melodic techno, for moments where the track is building up and has that 1 or 2 bar of silence. It can bring a really beautiful effect to the melody. Now, sweep, one of the most commonly used color effect. This applies either as a notch filter or a bandpass filter to your sound. Turning left engages the notch filter and the bandwidth gradually increases as you go. For those of you who don't know, a notch filter cuts a specific frequency range out of the sound. So turning left carves out more and more of the music. It creates this hollow, tunneled sound. Turning right switches to the bandpass filter and the bandwidth narrows as you go. A bandpass filter only lets a specific slice of frequency through. So the further right you go, the more it sounds like the music is being squeezed into a tiny hole. Basically that telephone or radio effect you hear sometimes in tracks. The parameter knob here controls the center frequency of the filter, where in the frequency spectrum the effect is seating. Low values target the bass, high values target the highs. Combining parameter movement with color movement gives you a huge range of textures, so definitely experiment with that. Next up, noise, one of the most interesting effects. This one mixes filtered white noise into your channel on top of the music. White noise is basically pure static sound. Think of ocean waves or a TV with no signal. Turning the color knob left lowers the cutoff frequency of the noise filter. Only low frequency noise comes through. Turning right raises the cutoff, so we hear more higher frequency noise. The parameter knob controls the volume of the noise itself, so basically how loud it is relative to the music. Subtle at low levels, completely overpowering at high levels. Just an advice, try creeping it up slowly during a long build-up before a drop. It adds incredible tension. And definitely be careful with this one because it can overshadow your music and it sounds completely unnatural if it is left uncontrolled. Also, one interesting thing about the noise effect is that you can use it on a channel where the music is not playing. And you can make really cool tricks, especially if you add an echo effect from the beat effects. You can play with the volume fader and with the crossfader, and you can create tricks like James Hype does in his sets all the time. Also worth knowing, your EQ and ISO knobs on the channel will actually affect the character and tone of the noise itself. So you can sculpt it with the EQ, you can definitely experiment with that as well. Now Crush. This outputs a distorted, beat-crushed version of the sound. It's used a lot in techno, especially hard techno. It's basically like degrading the audio quality on purpose, giving it that gritty, broken texture. Turning left on the color knob outputs the crush sound directly. You can hear it getting crunchier, more destroyed. Pushed hard, it sounds like the audio is completely glitching out. Turning right takes that crush sound and passes it through a high-pass filter, cutting the bass out of the crush, making it brighter and thinner. This is great for creating contrast before slamming the bass back in. The parameter knob controls the intensity of the crush effect itself. Subtle at low values, completely wrecked at high values. This one is perfect for techno, industrial or any high energy movement where you want to add a bit of chaos in your tracks. And last, but absolutely not least, the filter, also one of my favorites, probably the most used effect in DJing. Turning the knob left lowers the cutoff and the low pass filter. Basically it lets through only the low frequencies and cuts the highs. As you can hear, the music starts losing its brightness, getting muddier and more bass heavy. All the way left, it's almost just kick and sub. Turning the knob right raises the cutoff of a high-pass filter. Basically, it cuts the lows and lets through the highs. As you can hear, the kick and bass disappear, leaving you just the top. This is the classic technique for energy drops and re-entries. Pull everything out, build tension, and then bring it all back. The parameter knob here controls resonance, so basically a peak at the cutoff frequency that makes the filter more pronounced. Try sweeping left or right slowly with the resonance up high. It sounds almost like a talking filter, super musical. And these are all the sound color effects on the DJM-A9: space, dub echo, sweep, noise, crush and filter. Each one has a color knob for direction and intensity, a parameter knob for fine control, and that center lock switch to keep your sweeps precise. Now, one thing I want to mention before we wrap up, there's actually another set of effects on this mixer over to the right side of the unit. Those are the beat effects, and they work quite differently. We're going to cover those in a future episode, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. The best way to really learn these is just to play with them while the music is running. There are no wrong moves, you can experiment. It's all about developing your own feel, and if you play with them you can actually create something really original. If you're new here and you're interested in professional DJ gear, hit subscribe. We've got a lot more coming, covering the DJM-A9 and the CDJ3000X, and I love to know, what do you want to learn about professional DJ gear? Drop it in the comments below. I'm building this series around what you actually want to know, so your input genuinely matters. See you in the next one. If you enjoy this kind of content, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Also, I would appreciate if you would like to know specific things about this setup, leave me a comment. I generally read all of them, and I'm shaping this series based on everything you would like to learn about the DJM-A9 mixer and the CDJ3000X controllers.